Got ourselves a bit of a 4v5 with Big Fell sporting that team of 5 with Windwalker Monk Conan in the back as a Fury Warrior Ghost coming back in, Subrogue, Haster, and SP Shady as the 2 Shadow Priests. God, that helm looks so good. 4-man team over on team 2 though with Daya, Displacement, Kevin, as well as Shadowhound. But honestly, like between Displacement, Daya, and Kevin, that's 3 people that are 1-man armies that go for like 1v3s pretty regularly, 1v4s, even 1v5s. So honestly, it might still be, team 1 may still be at a bit of a disadvantage here. It might as well be just like, what, if Daya is 3 people, maybe, wait, who's going to be first up? Is it Shad? Hold on a second. It is going to be Daya. Okay. I saw somebody leap in. Couldn't tell who it was. It looks like it's going to be Ghost off the bat. Oh no, dude. Sub-rogue off the bat. Oh no. Gonna be a Shadow Strike opener, Kinder Shot, Succubus CC immediately, Ghost, not countering the Succubus, but he does go for the stun about the same time as Succubus. Shadow Step yet again into a blind as the conflagration is gonna get him out in the open. Actually, not a Trinket out of Daya. I thought it was Trinket for a second. Was that blind really that short, or did something happen with that blind? Looks to try to see if he can get himself a bit of a reset. Infernal is out in the open, trying to find himself a reset. Shadow Steps into a sap, walking by the Infernal isn't enough to get him out in the open. Succubus does catch you off of that sap though. That is unfortunate. Immolating off the bat, Shadow Strike yet again, cheap shot to follow, trying to see if he can make so a big go right now. Big secret technique right after, die over the wall, just trying to see if he can tank up as much of this damage as possible. Focus shot is for Ghost off of that Mortal Coil as well, does end up using a trinket as well. Trying to see if he can just slice right through Diabolicals to use open up the portals, trying to get a bit of that extra fiery damage versus Ghost with a Soul Fire to follow. Shadow Fury right after, doesn't quite connect. Ghost with a vanish. I don't even know if he takes any of that Soul Fire damage when he vanishes like this. I think actually just ends up immuning it. That or the shield ends up absorbing a large portion of it. Kinder Shot to follow, Trinket right after. Daya does not have a Mortal Coil for a bit here. Succubus is all he's really got. Got himself a bit of a defense. Cannonball to follow. Maybe can get interrupted. Gowers to follow. It's trying to be Ghost trying to see if he can get himself a reset. Succubus catching last second cheat death to follow. Trying to go for a bit of healing, but Ghost maybe in a bit of trouble. Dark back evasion, cheap shot available, but he's mostly just trying to play it super defensive. Does he go down right now? Trying to make sure he doesn't Mortal Coil right after. I think Conflagrations and a Shadowburn will do the trick. Does go for the Kyrian setup, but that portal with the gateway, there's nothing you can do about that one. I feel like once you open up those gates, it just takes so much damage and a bit of a CC setup. It just becomes very, very difficult to come back. Mad damage. Silence on Diabolicus does have the Soul Steal out of Haster, reducing the man's healing as well as damage by, I think it is 25%. I gotta recheck that ability again because it changes a few times. But I think it's 25% with a mad burst onto Diabolicus, maybe in a bit of trouble. Haster with the disperse, trying to see if he can get himself a bit of reset. Big damage on the Shadow Priest though. A couple of times him and Daya fought each other and is able just to absolutely overpower the Destra Warlock. A couple of times now actually. Since the healing of Destiny is just not as high anymore, already use wall and everything, unless you go into full defensives, Warlocks can actually die now. Dots onto Shadowhound, does get himself the Basilisk, but as long as you just stay away from Basilisk, it should be mostly okay. Trying to see if he can maybe kite Haster back towards the pet stun to follow a big Void Torrent. Does he have a big defensive here? Trying to see if he can back up out of there for a second. But I think with those tentacles, I think the man is just done. Even though in Turtle Shell, he's still taking the tentacle damage. Gonna be the pets dotted up. Haster with a bit of a reheal. Shadowhound borrowing some health with the aspect of the bear. But Haster, as long as he got the dot damage, as long as he got the procs, he should be able to get him some decent damage around the corner. Mindflay Insanity, unless Shadowhound got himself an answer. Shadow Melt? I thought it was maybe a clean one. I think the pets are still dotted up there. Got himself a bit of damage, but I think it's just over. Yeah, nothing you can really do in that situation. Haster does end up juking out a kick from, I think it was Shadhunt, right? If not Kevin. Silence to follow, big War Supper after. Got himself full Crusader already. Haster's gonna have to use everything he can in order to survive the big Crusader damage, especially with the big hammer hanging over the man's head. As it's all ramping up the holy damage higher and higher. I think the hammer bridges do you win. Almost. Not quite. But almost. Big damage out for Haster. Got himself Mindflay Insanity with a bit of CC onto Kevin. Stun to follow. Got himself a bit of shields. Also dispersed, backup unavailable, so you should be okay. As long as you can press this person at the right time, you might be fine. Lived through the full set of Crusade Wings from Kevin. As long as you can live those, you'll be a-okay. Mad damage. Haster trying to see if he can survive here. Disperse to follow. Kevin trying to get some damage in back to back. Got himself the Templar's Verdicts. Or is it Last Verdicts rather? I guess it is Last Verdicts if they're from a range, aren't they? It's going to be getting himself some dodge, hammer hanging over his head. Not the most amount of damage. Silence on Kevin, as long as he's careful with the kicks. Does get interrupted on his full void torrent. Too bad that the kick from Kevin is a physical kick, not a magic kick. Stun. Kevin made his... Huh? Wait, he bubbled already? When did he bubble? I guess you couldn't really use Blessing of Protection if he's like, unless he's running Spell Warden, right? Displacement going to be the last one left. Over for the team one. Looks like Haster is actually bringing it back for his team little by little, man. Actually trying to see if he can make a comeback. Being interrupted Shadow. No disperse. Actually doesn't even have disperse available. Doesn't even matter. Big damage as soon as you get that interrupt from Displacement. Blast him out with Touch of the Magi and everything at the ready. It looks like maybe it's going to be SP Shady. That or a Big Fell up next. I don't think it is going to be Conan. He's just kind of hanging in the bushes, trying to scout where the Mage may be. Big Fall trying to see if he can reposition towards one of the tombstones as Displacement hits him with a bit of a barrage. I wonder if Displacement can go for a 1v4 here. He got Haster. If he can get through Conan, Big Fell, and this Shady, he might be alright. Double ring onto Big Fell. Instead, actually cancels Ring of Fire, trying to see if he can get him to go. How do you... That was the weirdest roll ever. The jankiest roll I've ever seen. It looked like he literally teleported forward and then teleported back. I couldn't even tell. Like, do you actually run through Ring of Fire, or do you just like avoid it entirely? I don't even know. Big damage. Displacement actually taking huge hits, but the all time keeping him alive. Big Fell may need to rotate more defenses. May need a Karma versus Displacement. The man has had no help whatsoever. One big Arcane Blast could actually maybe do him in. I don't know if the Mage got it up and running though. Barrages has himself playing his lows. Karma is out, so you can maybe just chip away at Big Fell. At least keep him slowed and keep him away from any kind of pillars. Maybe keep him from being able to properly heal himself. Ring of Fire is definitely not going to keep you feeling all that great behind the pillar. Got himself through the mist, but that fire damage is going to keep burning for a percentage of your health. Even if you're recovering, those Arcane Orbs are definitely not going to give you any survivability whatsoever. Just keeps chipping away at the Monk, does not let him do anything. The Image is back there, pelting with fireballs. Ring of Fire yet again. If we can just put him out in the open next to the Ring of Fire. Yeah, that's definitely going to do just percentage damage. Barrage to follow, trying to see if he can reposition with Displacement charging back in. The Mage does have all this CC at the ready. He just, I think, just trying to see if he can finish out Big Fell without really committing a lot of big cooldowns. He got himself the Arcane Surge and Touch the Magic and everything. I think he's just trying to see if he can plink away at Big Fell little by little, chip away at the guy. Got himself all the time in case things are bad. Missiles to follow. Maybe got himself a good angle. Barrage we're after. Not enough damage just yet. Breath to follow. Maybe this way go for big setup. Haymaker putting him out in the open. Barrage right after with the Ring of Fire. Gonna do again percentage damage. Freeze him right in the open. Wants to get out of there as soon as he can. That damage with missiles just chipping away at the guy little by little. Is it gonna be SP Shady next? Again, you gotta make sure you don't fall in the same trap as before. Getting interrupted on Shadow is going to be deadly, especially if Displacement already uses Arcane Surge in order to activate the most amount of damage for him. If you can get an interrupt and he has himself a nice, decent setup of abilities with missiles and everything, I think it could be lights out immediately. So SP Shady better be very, very, very careful here. Interrupted on Shadow, I don't think you'll be able to disrupt his disperse. I think it should be able to maybe still get a go, unless you can just randomly surprise him full of damage. Try to see if you can build up some missiles on the Shady. Big damage. Does he have the big Arcane Blast? He does have the Arcane Blast he could set up, but the Touch of the Magic inside of this burst, keeping Shady plenty alive. Stun Displacement does blink away into a Void Eruption. Does have PI. Trying to see if he can steal that PI right now. Void turning around the corner. Could maybe interrupt it. Does he have it? He does have it back up right now. Shady might be in a bit of trouble. Mad Barrage. Oh, what is that? Hold on a second. I shifted to a wrong guy last minute. I wanted to see what happened to Shady with the man Barrage and everything. Missiles just, oh my goodness. Conan trying to see if he can get in there. Displacement has himself an interrupt that he's going to use against Conan. Anytime he's going to reflect, he's going to send it big. That might even need to do that all that often. Barrage to follow missiles. I think it's just over. Oh my God. The Touch of the Magi just does not give these boys a break. Oh my God. Arcane and Duels, man. It is actually just, I think, unparalleled. Haster was making a pretty good comeback for his team, though, by the way. He's got 3 kills under his belt. Well done, well done. All right, let's get us another one going.